It's time for our weekly check-in with Dr. Isaac Bogoch, infectious diseases specialist, who is joining us a bit earlier today because he's in fact headed to Ottawa this morning to speak to the House of Commons Committee on Health. So, Dr. Bogoch, thanks for joining us a little earlier, and I know you've got to catch a flight, so let's get to this right now. What are you going to be discussing, and what do you hope to help our parliamentarians, and really by extension Canadians, better understand right now?
Yeah, I'm really glad they're discussing the significance of antibiotic resistance, and we call it antimicrobial resistance. And this is a huge issue where with the overuse and misuse of antibiotics, the antibiotics stop working. And people think, maybe that's not such a big deal, but it actually is. It kills over 1 million people on the planet per year, kills over about 5,000 Canadians per year. And it's not a matter of not using the antibiotics that we have. It's just a matter of treating them as a precious resource and using them wisely. The key word is stewardship, and using these antibiotics in a more appropriate manner such that they are with us for a long, long, long time to help Canadians and, of course, to help the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Bogoch, it's interesting, though, because some people, when they go to the doctor and they're sick, they kind of want something prescribed because, some of it's placebo. Obviously, a lot of it makes you feel better as well. So there's that dilemma here. Doctors are like, well, we want to be seen to be doing our job, but on the one hand, maybe over prescribing these things becomes problematic, is kind of what you're saying.
Absolutely. And it's just a matter of solid education, not just to the general public, but also to healthcare providers. Sometimes it's easy to write a prescription and get people on their way. But truly, if there's not a bacterial infection, we shouldn't be using drugs to combat bacteria. The misuse of these drugs really, sadly, results in drug-resistant organisms, and it causes tremendous harm at a Canadian and global level. What's really interesting is only about 30% of the antibiotic consumption on the planet is in humans. A lot of the misuse is in animals and in farming communities. And of course, we know that humans and non-human animals are very closely linked, and some of the drug resistance jumps over from the animals to the humans and causes big problems. So it's a much bigger issue beyond just humans, and we really have to work together with animal health, human health, environmental health to get this under control.
Okay, really quickly, because I know you got to leave and catch a flight. Anything on your radar, COVID, flu, RSV right now? This Canadian winter, lots of snow, lots of cold. How are we managing? How are things looking?
Yeah, obviously it's freezing out there, but in good news, influenza rates are just plummeting. Around the New Year, we had about 33% of our tests that were done were positive for flu. That's down to about 12%. So it's still around, it's still there, but it's just plummeting now. And we don't see a significant rise in COVID or RSV, although they're grumbling along. So yeah, there's still winter respiratory viruses out there, but I think it's fair to say that if we timestamp this conversation to right now, things are a lot better now than they were 3 and 4 weeks ago. Okay, that is good to hear. Listen, Dr. Bogoch, I know you got that flight to catch. We're going to let you go here. Appreciate you joining us a little bit earlier this week, and we'll look forward to our conversation again next week. Safe travels, and we'll be fascinating to see what comes out of your talk to the House of Commons Health Committee. Appreciate this.